Look, I should say in passing and briefly, if a thing strikes you as valuable, like a book I read, bits of Merlin Crothers and bits of Paramahansa Yogananda's autobiography and bits of John's Gospel, and it needs to be read, that bit that inspired you again and again and again and again, or recording, just supposing one of these recordings just strikes you as right with you. Don't say to yourself, well, I've read that once, that's enough. Been there, done that. And you read it again and again. I mean, I've been to lectures, first year lectures, quite apart from, master's level and so on, so-called, again and again, and I get more and more out of it. I've taught, first year economics 101, micro, macro, well, mainly macro, but no, both, again and again, and I still get more out of teaching it yet again. It's alive as you present it yet again to students with them and relate. And whatsoever is good and lovely, think on these things. You see how often I've reflected on John 17 again and again and again and again. You say, oh, that's just obsessive personality. Yeah, falling in love is obsessive, I can tell you. And it's the best thing you've ever experienced and known, quite probably. And you need to fall in love with God. You'll know life eternal then. Bless you. And you will know. You will fall in love with God. You are a child of God. It takes a while to recognize our parents. It takes even longer to really value them and love them. Yeah. Where did that come from? Thank you, Heavenly Dad. It all comes from you, doesn't it? Love you, Dad. Thank you, Dad. Do you know it's taken me 70 years more to come to love my dad? I found a photo of him. Well, actually two. One was him in his suit, London suit, looking like a early 20th century banker in the city. Slim, young, I don't know, 35. And one of him and Mum, which must have been about the same period. Young, both looking absolutely lovely, loving. I realised what a lovely bloke he was. Not the one I was afraid of. Not the one I saw shouting and with Mum and me dreading what could happen. Took a long time to love him. But it's happened, and I'm so glad. Well, what I meant to say is, so it is with God. He's beyond the boundary, it seems to begin with. Means nothing to you. Perhaps you were blessed by parents that were so godly that you were brought up knowing God. Wow. Wow, what a start. But perhaps you were brought up by the wrong God, their God. It's not your God, Your values are slightly different. You see, you're an individual. And it's not that God is wanting clones in heaven of himself. He wants this fantastic individual variety of family, immense and incredibly varied. But in harmony, of course, in perfect harmony. Do you sort of see what I mean? So we practice here on earth, coming to know and love the different life forms around us. And as our heart goes out to them, we are being prepared for heaven. Isn't that wonderful? Just wonderful. As we expand ourselves to embrace others. And the story tells us that, we're John 17, John generally, the gospel tells us that God already loves us. He's expanded his self to include us from the beginning, from himself. A way of putting it, isn't it? Just a different way of putting it. And because of knowing that, we start to expand ourselves to recognize his presence in us. You see, Jesus, he's in 17, he's just praying for something that he believes is already so. When you pray, believe that you have received it already. In other words, I know this prayer is redundant, but I'm going through it because it's anchoring in my mind the wonderful reality of you. Dearest Dad, love you. I can look at my earthly dad's photo and think, I can see the goodness and the loveliness in that man. I'm so glad I can now see it. Thank you, Heavenly Dad. And I do mean my Heavenly Dad now. I distinguish between the two. The scripture says, Jesus in it says, call no man Father on the earth. Well, I'm still at the point where I do think of how much I appreciate that he was my dad. May not have appeared loving to me when I was a kid, but I'm so glad he was there. Thank you, Dad. And my big thanks, of course, is to our Heavenly Dad for making all this universe possible. Love you, Heavenly One. Heavenly Dad, love you. Thank you, Dad. Dear one, go back to the start. Listen to this recording again. You get much more from it. Bless you. Thank you, Dad.